the main guest tonight on this show is a minister, a pastor from Burlingame, California, and an artist from San Francisco. The interview is about how the two of them got together to help strengthen the Burlingame, California community. Before I invite them on this show, I'm going to interview a councilman from the town of Atherton, California.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, first of all. Yeah, we've been having events for a short period of time where we're actually highlighting regional artists at our town hall. So we have their pictures hung up, and we have the artists come in. We have a wine and cheese event, and the artist gets a chance to talk about their paintings and answer questions. And we're really pleased to have you. And the timing just couldn't be better because we just finished the town's climate action plan. And as you know, in the summertime, we also had a big environmental programs event where we enlisted inputs and projects from all across the town with regard from students in the upper schools to talk about how they're going to affect climate change and help make our environment more sustainable. And your paintings tell the story about doing that. So we're really pleased on having you come.
Okay, well, I wasn't aware that you just finished until you shared today your climate action plan. And I am going to be, for the first time, presenting a 15-foot long, 6-foot high painting. It's never been out yet, except on television. And what the painting articulates, it tells a story about how Secretary George Shultz has been working for the last few years developing recommendations for the new president. And those recommendations are how Shultz believes the new president should go forward in developing a national energy policy that will meet the needs of the country, the economic and other related needs of the country, as well as slow the growth of runaway climate change. So at your event, there's going to be some early paintings I made, you know, small ones, and then there's going to be this gigantic one. And I want to say I greatly appreciate your invitation. I really do. And I just want to ask one question. You are a councilman for Atherton, but you're involved in some other county organizations. Could you briefly tell us at least one of them?
Sure. I'm on the board. I used to be the board chairman. I'm now just a board member of the South Bay Waste Management Authority, which picks up and recycles the trash from 14 jurisdictions in South San Mateo County. Also a board member on the Peninsula Clean Energy Group, and we are actually selling to all residents and all businesses in San Mateo County clean energy in various levels of sustainability. So residents can sign up to 100% clean energy or a 50%, and slowly that would ratchet up to 75%. So we're really excited about doing things to improve the sustainability here in the Bay Area and specifically in Atherton. Now, I forgot to mention, I just want to point out to the viewers that our event is on the 9th. It's going to be at 91 Ashfield Road, which is our town hall. The large painting is going to be in our historic council chambers. The event starts at 4 o'clock. As I said, there'll be wine and cheese as well as non-alcoholic beverages. And we hope a lot of people come out. At 4:30, we're going to introduce yourself and ask you to talk a little bit about your paintings and allow some of the residents and other people from the area to come talk to you about your paintings.
Okay, so that's November the 9th, Wednesday.
Correct.
And I want to thank you for coming here, and I want to thank you for the invitation.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, thank you.
All right. Okay. Again, I'm Michael Killen, and my guests are Cecile Picard. She is a San Francisco artist, and when you hear her speak, you'll very quickly realize that she is from France. And my other guest is Jeff Kunkel. He is the pastor of the Burlingame United Methodist Church. I'm really delighted that the two of you are here. And I want to say, at some point, Cecile told me she was working on an exciting mural for your church. And I got to see it on the ribbon-cutting dedication when the mayor of Burlingame was out, and Ruth Waters, famous head of the Peninsula, I think it's the Peninsula Art Museum, was there, and it was a wonderful event. Let's see, you made a mural.
Yes, we made a mural. It's a 24 feet by 20 feet mural on the wall of the United Methodist Church in Burlingame. And we started the project at the beginning of August and finished it beginning of September. So it took about a month to realize.
Just a month to make it.
To make it, yes.
That's embarrassing, Cecile. It takes me months to make even smaller paintings than that. Jeff, from my understanding, you are the person, now you are a pastor of a church in Burlingame, the United Methodist Church. First of all, how long have you been in charge?
I've been at that church for 6 years now.
Okay. And that's been a good experience?
Been a good match, yes.
And I believe you are the person that initiated the project.
It may have come from me. You know, we have an interesting congregation that's got a lot of life and color and music and art going on inside this large beige building, situated in Burlingame, which is also full of beige buildings. And so I began thinking, along with a design task force, how could we let some of the color and life that we have in our building start to spill out into the streets, into the wider community? How could we develop some sort of connection with what we've got going inside the building, with what's going on outside the building in the community? And we happened to have a large beige wall that needed some color and some life, and that's how we started thinking about mural.
Good. When Cecile told me she was working on a mural for your church, I imagined it was on the inside, on the ceiling, the dome, or whatever, and I never thought of it being outside. And it's outside maybe because of the physical properties of the building, but maybe it's also because of your attitude, you know, which you clearly articulated. You were interested in sharing the goodness that was happening in your church with the community. Do I have a...
And tie it into the goodness that's happening into the community. You know, we, in my own mind, I was really wanting the kind of colorful, vital mural that would not only show something about our congregation to the community, but also would be interesting enough and accessible enough for kids, so that as they walked by, they would see it, they'd have to stop their parents and say, look, what is that? And have to go up for a little bit closer exploration.
Yeah, I want to say, later on we're going to get to the mural, but I just want to say I was touched when I saw it. It is a remarkable mural. And I did discover that Cecile tapped into Matisse to an extent. Was that yours idea?
Yes, I thought of Chagall at first, and then it was an inspiration came, and I decided to do Henri Matisse inspired mural. I said that it took a month to realize it, but it took 2 months to learn to know this community, to go to the mass and be part of the meet with people, talk with people about what the church means to them. And we came up with different themes, different words that we integrated in the mural. So this mural is a community mural inspired.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, how did your mind develop to come up with the idea and the direction for the painting? And I think you've answered part of that. I mean, you researched the community. You sat down with Jeff. You sat down with other people. You attended their function, and that was your research.
Yes, Jeff created a mural committee of, we were about 6 or 7 people. Sometimes 10 people, it depends, it was kind of changing. And with this mural committee, we narrowed down the themes and the words and what we wanted to see on the wall, what was a reflection of the community. We came down with three themes, three words, and I worked with that because at first we had so much material to work with.
Yeah. Well, what were the 3 words?
On the mural you will see there is open hands, open heart, and open minds. And we wanted a mural that was very open and welcome to everybody. And I forgot what was some of the word. Maybe you remember. Love and.
Well, when Cecile started to get to know the congregation, we asked the congregation to provide her with bits of information she could start to think about for this mural. And we asked folks to give her a word, an image, a scripture verse, or a short phrase. And so people got busy and wrote all kinds of things. And it was in that mix that we came up with the theme open hearts, open minds, open hands.
Okay, now I find a lot of people come to me and often ask me how I get the idea and the plan to implement something on a canvas. And I always tell them, you know, I research the topic, and, you know, I research it differently than you. But to some extent, you know, I read some books and whatever, okay. But what can you, and this will be hard for anyone, it's hard for me. After you did your research and you know what you wanted to do, were you able to implement what you thought?
Yes, actually, it came out pretty, but pretty easily. This sense of community, you know, immediately the arch came and this rounded shape came to my mind, and I work with cut paper, so I was cutting into paper, and
like Matisse.
Like Matisse, yeah. And then, you know, I knew we needed people, so I started to work with silhouettes and shapes and to place them on my scale 1:1. 1 inch was 1 foot scale paper, and then they have this ceremony called the river prayers at the river.
Evenings at the river.
Evenings at the rivers. So I knew I wanted to put some water and the sky, and the cross was taking roots in the water and up going to the heavens. So the composition came out pretty.
Yeah.
Well, I might mention there were 3 designs we asked for.
It's true.
Yeah. And the one that we used was just clearly the one that inspired her the most, and it carried the most for us as well.
Okay. That's your mural, isn't it?
Is it? Yes.
And I think you said 24 by 25 feet?
Yes, 20 by 24 about. And there's people on the side also. You know, the community is reaching out to people outside of the community, and one of the person is handing a star to
one of the things we like best about it is that it's not simply contained within its borders, it spills over. And so you have the figures down below reaching up towards the other figures, and it's you have the stars breaking out of the borders.
Yeah. I wonder if the crew would bring it back, and I heard clearly, you wanted something that was open, you didn't want fixed borders, but I was wondering if either one of you, because I know Jeff is also an artist, what, when I look at this, would be considered real good art technique? I know when I make a painting, I have certain principles that I go by. What's a principle of implementation that really is important in this particular paint, besides the openness? And I don't think that's necessarily an artistic thing, open. I mean, what do we have there that is a good art technique?
A good art technique?
Yes.
Like I say, I use the cutout paper.
Okay.
So I kept in the way we painted this feel of cutouts,
All right.
that Matisse
right.
used. And
so let me share what I see. Like on the left, on the very bottom, we see two people, I think. We see a dog and maybe something else, and they're sort of pointing to that black-looking cutout figure that has an arm. And maybe that is a technique you're using to pull the people's idea from the left to that black person, and then you're giving me the opportunity to either follow those words around, or you're giving me the opportunity for my eye and my mind to go to the green person, and then the cross, the yellow person. I mean, I think that's a good technique.
Yes.
What I think really works about it is that everything about it shows a certain kind of vitality and joy. The colors put together with the shapes, put together with the way things are spilling out, put together with the fact that it's a huge scale and it's raised a little bit for the viewer. Just all of that, I think, works together to just make a person behold it.
I mean, you have to look at it, and I've actually seen it besides. I was very impressed with it. How has the community reacted to it?
Well, it was kind of fun. I joined Cecile for a few days up on the scaffold painting. I just couldn't resist. And we experienced a number of times people would come by, people we'd never met before from the community would come by, ask questions, offer thanks, tell us what they saw in it. And they were all just happy to behold it and happy to get in a conversation about it. It was something that was most unexpected. And that's another part of the appeal of it, I think. It is somewhat unexpected where it is, especially the size of it and how colorful it is and how vital it is. Again, it's in a beige place. The district superintendent, Reverend Stacy Current, and she has talked up the mural and asked people to go by, take a look at it. Maybe there's an idea for a way to reach out to the community and their congregation. And I also know that Burlingame has now got some public art projects that they're considering. And so there's a start on it already with the mural and a few other things around town. Okay.
Now I want to ask, besides making, well, you've made several murals, haven't you?
Yes.
In France or all in the United States?
No,
or
all in the United States. I made 2 murals with at schools around the Bay Area. All the murals are in the Bay Area. And another one is also for a hotel.
For a hotel?
Yes.
Oh, and you like making them?
Yes, very much.
Are they a challenge?
Yes, they are a challenge. And this mural, being involved with the community, was really special to my heart. Yes.
Okay, but you also are a fine artist, a designer, and I have some photos over here, and I was wondering if my Saturday Night Live crew would quickly show us a few of your work in other areas, possibly.
Yes, I created my business a year ago, and I do some interior design work as well. So this is a child room that I remodeled in Menlo Park.
Okay.
And aside from that, I do also some personal work.
All right. So let's see.
Sure.
Is this one of?
Yes, that was in a kid's room. It was inspired by Calder, the artist, and so we are doing a lot of mural painting in the kids' room.
Okay, and this is another design.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Gee, I think about when I was a little kid. I didn't have anything like this, and this is very imaginative and has to be very interesting to a child, wouldn't you say? So you designed children's room as well as rooms for.
Yes, and children rooms gave us the opportunity to paint, do mural painting inside. And the red rockets on top is made actually on paper, and it was glued on the wall. And there is a,
Okay. Do we have any more? What do we have? Oh, this is a adult room.
It was a nursery.
A nursery.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like designing rooms?
Yes, I do.
You like hotel rooms and lobbies and?
Yes, we help an hotel to kind of remodel and upgrade and just bring in colors and designs and yes, to beautify spaces, stay creative.
Yeah. Good. Do we have any more photos?
Well, and I also do personal work also in watercolor, and so that's samples of things that I enjoy doing.
So this is fine art, real fine art.
Real fine art. And as much as I can, I try to bring fine art into the interior design projects by proposing mural painting or actually pieces of fine art to hang on their wall.
Okay, so I just like to say, now you're from San Francisco.
Yes.
And how do people reach you?
Through my email or my web.
What's your website?
Okay, my website is www.elisefrenchflair.com. Elise, E-L-I-S. Oh, here it is. EliseFrenchFlair.com. That's the name of my company.
She has the flair.
Okay. Now, we have 2 minutes left, and I'd like to ask Jeff a question. Now, I'm thinking about your effort to strengthen your relationship and the community, and that led to the creation of this project. Do you have any suggestions for other communities that might want to tap into art to help them contribute to strengthening their community? Any advice?
I would say keep your eyes open. Really look around at the spaces in your community. Are they alive? Are they dead? How could they be made more alive, more colorful, more vital? Not necessarily just through murals, but perhaps other art forms as well. And then start a conversation about it with other interested people, and things tend to build then. And all of a sudden, money can appear, and building certificates can appear, and things can happen.
Okay, now we're going to run out of time, but can you give me 1, 2, or 3 bullets of your objectives in terms of, no, we're not going to do that. I've just been given the signal that, okay. So, Cecile Picard, congratulations. That is truly a wonderful accomplishment, and I'm proud of you. And I also want to compliment you for having the idea, the initiative, and to be able to go out and find premier artist like Cecile. I mean, you didn't come to me. And you made the right choice.
We did.
So I want to thank both of you for being a guest.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
Hi,
Michael.
my guests were Cecile Picard and Jeff Kunkel. I am Michael Killen.
I would like to thank the artist who is here today, Cecile.
I am so grateful for the opportunity to bring joy and beauty to this church community. As I was working on this project, a passerby exclaimed, "Beautiful!" And I turned around and I saw a woman smiling. This mural is about community and openness. My long-time friend, Purvisha, of Kids and Arts, a non-profit that bring arts in the life of kids suffering from cancer, she has her offices in a church, and she introduced me to Pastor Jeff Kunkel. I designed the mural using images and scriptures gathered by the members of the United Methodist Church. The theme here is love, love of music, a celebration of diversity, and the dedication to helping others.
And I wanted to share it with you this morning. It says, art is important. We tend to think it's a luxury, but it gives people deep pleasure because beauty is the personification of hope that something grander is at work.
Glass of juice for a toast. So, I will propose a toast now on behalf of everybody who's had part of this mural and the life of the mural as it goes on from here to good art and all that it pulls from us, from our hearts, our minds, and our souls, and to this community. Here, here.